Project Sparta graduate under data scientist track. So I also received awards from Father's Choice, Iceberg Insulated Class 2022, and Bayan Academy Backend Web Development. I am a graduate under that foundation. So next slide, please. So from there, I also engage with speakerships. So for example, I conducted a workshop under DevCon Manila in CEU last March, and from there, I taught several students there about Git and GitHub, and I also teach cloud computing under AWS under my organization. Next slide, please. So ayun. So before we proceed with the data science or my output overall, let me just discuss the fundamentals. So since this is a tech conference, I hope you guys can learn a lot with me. So first start, sa mga hindi alam, no? So wait lang. Sige, survey lang muna tayo. Sino dito yung hindi pa familiar sa data science? Kindly raise your hand. Sige, be honest lang, guys. Okay. So, konti lang.
Sobrang astig.
Pero yun, siguro just a recap na lang. So, when we say data science,
Ano to?
we say multidisciplinary
Nagpa-panel
field
review
that
kami sa mga
involves
graduates
statistical
ng
and
tech interns
computational
namin.
techniques
Tapos
to
tignan nyo,
extract insight and knowledge from data. So, what do you mean by multidisciplinary? So, kapag sinabi nating data science...
so baka hindi nyo lang natatanong,
So,
sa
when
dulo
we say
ng
actionable insights, bakit nga ba natin to kailangan? So, when we say...
sa dulo ng LARC internship program namin, doon sa mga interns natin, meron silang panel review, tsaka project presentation doon sa dulo. So, ganito itsura nyo. So, nandun sila sa actual, andun sila sa site, sa office. Tapos, they're together with their own peers na mga ibang interns o mga ibang senior developers sa office. Tapos, pinapresenta nila yung project nila for the entire time na nasa internship sila. So, nagiging combination to ng educational because they're also giving a bit of their background, mga natutunan din nila na gusto nila i-share. And at the same time, ano yung project na ginagawa nila. So, for this one, pakinggan natin. Galing, oh.
So for that to be possible, we use KPIs or key performance indicators to further to track it further and have our own goal and have our own steps using predictive modeling and predictive analytics so that we can have a more consolidated or more data-driven solution to reach that goal overall. So next slide, please. So again, why invest data-driven decisions? So bakit nga tayo as a company, parang progress din ng isang organization is to have an going upwards yung curve just to have a data-driven solution. And furthermore, when having a data-driven company, we can have strategic stage and strategic metrics, no, so that we can reach our goal for the year or for the particular season. So next slide, please. On our end, we can have a better outcome, a better output, and have a better productivity in overall for as an organization. So next slide, please. SP Madrid. So as a data science intern, I was assigned to Mr. Junil Jumawas. So he was a great mentor to me. So from there, even in a short time, diniscuss niya lang sa akin nung una kung ano yung gagawin. So unang idea, akala ko parang Bubble.io lang and Python yung gagawin ko as a data scientist, but no. Ang bibigay niya pala sa akin, and I was shocked because it was a side project na pala ng company. So from there, diniscuss niya lang sa akin kung ano yung gagawin. So basically, gumawa kami ng parang enhancement ng existing algorithm ng predictive analysis. So here, kumbaga ang goal lang sa akin is to have a retraining ng machine learning model just to have this feature importance list. So discuss ko what is feature importance list later on. So next slide, please. So ayun, in addition kasi, ang goal kasi netong side project is to keep the company at number 1. So for it to be number 1, ang sabi sa akin ni Mr. Junil is the success of the company isn't just being the top 1, but maintaining a long distance among the competitors. So kung makikita nyo, hindi lang tayo porket nag-top 1 na ang SP Madrid, chill na tayo. So we need to anticipate yung mga ginagawa ng ating competitors in a sense that we must maintain yung distance na yon so that continuous pa rin yung yung pagiging top 1 natin in the future. So next slide please. So dito sa project ko, may dalawa tayong expected outputs. So una, automatically determine if an agent has a value to SP Madrid and Associates. And the second one is to predict the minimum KPIs that an agent must hit per month. So bukan per agent. So for an example, itong campaign is mababa yung output nila or underperforming sila. So ito yung pwedeng gamitin ni trainer or ni leader, kumbaga, para gawin nilang basis or metrics para in the next month. So una, yung reality, of course, and yung mga progress ng mga clients natin, or mga agents rather. Then raw data gathering, nakuha ko lang yung data kay Mr. Junil. So raw data, we have that. And then from there, ang una kong gagawin is data cleaning. When we say data cleaning, i-remove natin yung mga outliers, yung mga imbalances sa data, just to have a much more agent. So, yun yung value niya. So, this is to identify na kapag tindihin ko tong model na to, may connection siya or may sense siya overall. So, ang next niyan is, identify natin if the data is reliable for training. If hindi, ulit lang ulit. So on and so forth. So, I did this for the whole week. Actually, it took me 4 weeks while training. And then, ang output niyan, kapag okay na, training na ng model, tapos may visualization tayo, data product, and yung findings. Yung findings, ito yun. However, kung makikita nyo, rightly skewed yung mga data dito. So, ibig sabihin, napakaraming outliers sa mga data. So, we need to clean it or normalize it further just to have more robust outcome and hindi siya bias. No? So, inaalis natin yung bias dito sa pag-training. So, ayun yung una kong nahanap din. So, this is before. So, next slide, please. So, ayan, kung mapapansin nyo, may box plot din tayo na tinatawag. So, kung mapapansin nyo, may mga dots siya dito, pababa, na nasa labas ng box. Ibig sabihin, mga outliers yan. Ang metrics natin, si accuracy at si F1 score. So, dito, mapapansin nyo, 88. Yung accuracy score, mababa pa kaysa kay Mr. Junil. And yung F1 score is around 89. So, medyo mataas pero still mababa. Kasi, ang masasabi natin na okay si model talaga o yung super okay is mas mataas na accuracy and yet mas mataas na F1 score. So para hindi tayo mag-overfit. So when we say overfit kasi doon tayo
idea. Next, we're going to use data science process para matakal natin yung goal. Ano yung goal natin? Goal natin is yung ma-forecast yung monthly na final amounts na mako-collect natin. And then yung current progress natin, ano na yung future developments ng project na to. Kasi pre-phase ko lang po, since late po ako medyo nag-start nung sa two values, yung predicted values natin and yung actual values natin. So, syempre, dapat pag error, mababa. Diba? And kapag R-squared, ito yung counterpart ng accuracy rate. Kasi ang ibig sabihin ng R-squared, kailangan, pag mataas kasi ang percentage ito, ibig sabihin, yung model na ginamit mo, kaya niyang ma-explain yung dataset na tinrain mo doon. Kasi ito top 8 na mga, is ito, MAE and yung R-squared. Ang pinakamataas na kanya currently sa R-squared is 81%. And yung lowest MAE niya is 500,000 mahigit pa. So, medyo malaki-laki pa. Na maganda na itong starting, pero medyo malaki pa yung error. Ayun yung current. Pwede natin i-adjust yung mga result natin. So, pwede nating mapababa yung MAE, yung error. Pwede nating mapataas yung R-squared. Ayun naman yung pinakagulo. So, paulit-ulit lang yan hanggang sa makuha natin yung magandang result. So, in my case kasi, ito yung dalawa. XGBoost. Grabe pinagdaanan ko rito. Minano-mano ko kasi itong XGBoost. Ang nakuha ko dito, kakaiba yung value na sobrang baba ng MAE, which is, good thing kasi dapat nga mababa yung error. Tapos yung R-squared, ang taas, di ba? 99, magwa 100 na nga to eh. Pero parang ang weird, di ba? So nag-try ulit ako ng other models. Tinry ko decision tree naman. Dito naman, nakita nyo, laki ng error niya, no? 900,000. Just yung binigay sa akin ni Mr. Junil. Sana yung maghahanap. Ano yung magandang, ito yung naka-highlight. Hindi lang makita gano'n yung values, pero ang essence lang ito, kung ano yung maliit yung MAE, ano yung mataas yung R2, etc. Depende sa kung ano yung needs mo. So, in my case,
So here are the front. So first thing is it can generate a reply based on the conversation history. Growy is instructed to answer queries as much as possible without assigning to a human or a team first to avoid spamming them. But when there comes a point that the LLM can't answer the query, it will opt to assign it to a human or convert the conversation to a ticket. It will first ask the information needed to resolve that query. For example, GrowCredit often asks you to verify your account by providing your date of birth and your zip code. Now, when you ask a query or tell the chatbot an issue that it doesn't know how to solve, it will ask for that information first so that when an agent gathered this conversation and assigned to it, they will read the conversation summary as a note generated by the chatbot so that they don't need to ask these questions and respond faster. So it is integrated with the platform called Intercom. One important note here about Growy is it will not replace humans, but will help them respond faster and focus more on complex queries efficiently. So if they have less agents, it doesn't matter because every time a user asks a query on their chatbot now, to protect the customer privacy as well as the companies, we've obfuscated the sensitive information using a machine learning model that does named entity recognition on each of the conversation to replace the personally identifiable information with placeholders like name, emails, phone numbers, etc. Next slide. This answer that only answers your queries without additional information that you don't need. So as you can see, we've provided a custom query instructing the chatbot to list their membership plans, and the chatbot responds quite fast. Next slide.
Okay lang sa akin.
So if the chatbot doesn't know how to answer the question,
Not much.
like a user having trouble signing in on the website, it doesn't assign it immediately. As you can see here, the chatbot tries to recommend some steps
Yan, pag ginawa
using
nila,
the context note.
maintain that.
Next slide. Yeah, using the context note generated by the chatbot, provided in this yellow card, and these context notes and the Intercom API. But the biggest learning for me here is Llama Index. Llama Index is a framework where you can use models developed by others like Google, OpenAI, and Meta, and use them on your own data. In this example, we provided the LLM from Meta. For the opportunity.
Let's go over my projects ko. Actually, one project lang i-represent ko today because of time restrictions. Next slide, please. That is Phoenix AI. So I think we should start with what Phoenix AI is first. Let's go. Yung ating mga agents. So ang input niya is yung usapan ng mga agents sa client. Opening skills, kung respectful ba si agent, yung kanyang mga diction, yung mga ganun. It's gonna evaluate all of that and it's gonna put out a rating to show how good yung tool ng ating AI. So next slide please for the contributions. Ito yung mga ginawa ko for the internship. First, I made the intent management, which is basically yung mga rejects patterns na mag-detect ng mga spills. So it's gonna detect kung ang isang sentence ba ay part ng opening or part ng closing, yung mga ganun. So ayan siya, ito yung itsura niya. Second is yung exception management. Basically, isa lang siyang dictionary to correct or process yung script natin para mas maging malinis siya. So meron siyang mga incorrect text and it's gonna convert that to the correct text. And here we go. Meron tayong isang script dito na pagka tinype mo, it's gonna convert all of that into what's happening here. So, yan. That's for the exception management. And lastly, we have the NLU tools, which is basically yung script. I won't go into too much detail kung paano sila gumagana kasi medyo esoteric yung topic. But I will go over kung ano yung mga natutunan ko for this time. Number one is yung mga APIs because we actually used APIs to communicate with the backend. And I think very fun siya. Kasi before, ginagamit ko yung word ng API para lang na backend lang talaga ko. Ayoko sa frontend, that's yuck. Pero now, nagkaroon ako ng project where I was pushed to do some front-end stuff. And I think that really helped me push boundaries and step out of my comfort zone para matry natin. Then, ito po yung before po. As you can see, napakawala pa po talaga siya, user interface, bali naka-table pa lang po, for data pa lang po siya. The transcriptions, emotions, and corrected transcriptions, basic table lang po siya. Next po. Then, ito pa yung after, ito yung overall. Next nyo po. Then, ito po, the landing page. Then, yung sa ano po, sa checkout yung na ginagawa ng AI. Then, ito po yung maglalagay po ng checking yung mga ating agents if yung prescription po niya is tama. And if mali naman po, manually, i-type po ng agents natin kung ano po yung mga pagkakamali na sa prescriptions. Then next, then po yung emotions. Sa emotions po, po yung mga emotions po na maaari pong ilagay ng ating mga agents ko. Happy, neutral, sad, and angry. Depende na po sa kanila yun. Then next. Then I also help for the Lego AI. Actually, nung Thursday po is I helped Mr. Joshua, dapat po, na i-review po yung Lego AI. Then next po. Then ito na po siya ngayon currently.
Ano yun?
Then my current project po is about sa Kapitdad. Kami din po yung gumagawa ng sa user interface sa bago pong first. Ayan po. Nasa ano na po siya, nasa bubble po siya. Currently, naayos ko po siya ngayon. That's all. Ay. So, taking Bachelor of Science in Lorma Colleges. So, i-discuss ko po yung mga experiences and also the contributions na nagawa ko during my internship dito sa School Madrid. And also,